This is the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show. Dr. Meleeka has a background as a clinical psychologist, actress, director, model, and human rights activist. The Dr. Meleeka Clary Show will help move you towards bettering the quality of your life with positive psychology. So please welcome your host, Dr. Meleeka Clary.
Welcome to the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show on the Bold and Brave TV network. Thank you, my friends, for tuning in. I'm so glad God gave me another day and also another week that I'm able to do this show. We have a special guest today. And yes, all my guests are special, but this one is very special because he actually played as my ex-husband, as my husband on Three Corners of Deception movie, but he has a unique story of his own. And I'm just so glad that he decided to be a guest on my show. And before I introduce him to you, I just want to say, I hope everybody's week is going well. Because we all have challenges and we have, things that we go through, obstacles. And I just hope that when you tune into the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show, I hope you can get some insight. And because some of these individuals, that I interview, they're sharing their story with you, but they're sharing tough times and difficulties and things that they've been through. But most of all, it's important that you have to know that they're sharing this information with you. And the reason why is because we're showing you that they're human, I'm human, we're all not perfect, and we all have problems or problem solving or challenges or something that we go through on a daily basis. And how do we deal with them? How do we get out of them? How do we stay positive? Because every day when you get up, I know when I get up in the morning, it's always a challenge. Like, I don't know what is going to happen that day or even that moment, or something could interrupt my sleep. And then I have to wake up and do something that it was unexpected. But it's all about how you deal with them and trying to be positive as much as possible. So it's very important that I'm glad, or I should say glad, that you tune in to the show. But I do this because I really want you to deal with any issues or any obstacles that you go through, because, this is mental health awareness every day, not just a month. And I say that because we just had a month, or maybe it's still this month, but it's every day. And I know that people have challenges, even if it's in relationships, or if it's a business decision, or it's family, it's still decisions and things you have to, deal with in your life. And you try to have to complete those. And you hope that people understand what you go through, because it's not easy. I know that because, if you're trying to juggle, being a person for one, and if you're a male or female, you still got to deal with just that and whatever welcomes that, because there's life changes that we women go through and life changes that men go through. So you have to deal with those changes. And you may have family issues or relationship issues or career path issues and things that you have to deal with every day. I understand that. But what I want you to understand, that we are all here together, because we do go through these problems, or I say problem solving things, because they can be fixed. I just ask, even though we go through something, remember that today, this is what today is about. Stay in the fight for tomorrow, because tomorrow can change, and it does change. I know that nothing always stays the same. And I know people always say that, oh, this is same day or different day, same thing. I really don't like that metaphor, because it really is different. It's another day that God gave you. It's another day that you'll be able to say, I love you to your loved ones or friends, or do the things that you like to do. Eat eat the good food that you like to eat. And I say that because I like eating food and I love Chinese food. And so it's like, oh, I get to enjoy that. Or ice cream. It's just the simple things too. Or traveling. It's just things that you would like to do, even walking in the park. It doesn't even have to have any money to do with it. I don't have to have any money to, finances or anything like that. It could just be getting up, smelling the flowers. As you learned on this segment, we had a lot of different guests that have said different things that inspire them about life and what they do to enjoy life and how they feel. I mean, I've learned so much and more to come with many guests, but it's just something that take this and also take information that people are giving you. Sharing is caring. And I always want to let people know sharing is caring. And these individuals, they're coming here and on my platform, free will, and sharing information and telling you their stories because they want to. And they want to let you know that if you are going through something, there's ways to come out of it because they did and they've been through something. So just pay attention to the Dr. Meleeka Clary show because we have a lot in store. And I'm so glad that you have an opportunity to be here with me again, another week, another Thursday, to be able to speak to another guest to say, whoa, because I'm sure this guest that I'm about to introduce you to, he's got an amazing story, but he wears so many different hats and it's just unbelievable. And I mean, when I say, and I could say his name because he played my husband on Three Corners of Deception. He did play angry Melvin was his character. He's not angry at all. He's a really nice one. But he is a actor. He is a producer and he is a medical doctor. Can you believe that? Whoa! He wears so many hats. A medical doctor too, and I can't believe he's on Three Corners of Deception. And when I say he did a phenomenal, I mean, job, it is just unbelievable. His performance was just striking, and I just mm-mm. You have to see the movie Three Corners of Deception because you're just going to be blown away with his acting. And I'm just so glad that he decided to be a guest on my show. I'm very happy with that. Before I do bring him on, we are going to take a brief commercial and we will be back with the Dr. Meleeka Clary show on the Bold and Brave TV network. Where we come in live. Don't go nowhere.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Welcome back to the Dr. Meleeka Clary show on the Bold and Brave TV network where we're coming live. Ooh, I love that. Well, we are going to bring my guest on. Welcome, Dr. Joshua Scotland, to the Dr. Meleeka Clary show. Hello. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm so glad that you decided to be a guest on my show. Thank you. Thank
And
you.
thank
Thank
you for
you.
that excellent introduction. It was very nice of you.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, you deserve it. I mean, you're one of my ride or die individuals. So I have to say that. But I'm going to say Dr. Joshua. Do you mind? I just Dr. Joshua, is that fine with you?
Sure, that sounds great.
Because you earned that, MD. So we have to say something about that now. But before we even get into all the accolades and the hats that you wear, my show is about mental health awareness, and I deal with positive and positivity. It's very important to me, and we have a lot of people that's watching us. But all the
Mhm.
accolades and all the hats and everything that you've earned and wear, it's so interesting what I know of you in the research. But here's the question for you. I always have to ask, who do you identify yourself as? Because I can identify you as this person, that person, but who do you identify yourself as?
That's a good question. I guess, do you mean more in the sense of what professional realm I'm in, or?
Well, like, who are you to you?
Yeah.
Because it's not who we expected. To a patient, you're Dr. Joshua. To me, you may be the actor. You know what I mean? But who do you
Yeah.
identify yourself as? Because you could be somebody else. All these different accolades and professions could be just something that you're good at, but it really doesn't define
Mhm.
who you are as a
Yeah.
person and your identity for yourself.
Yeah. Well, I guess how I would see myself is that I am a pretty average human being in a lot of ways, which is a good thing. I think it's a badge of honor. I have a lot of the same things that I care and love about, like anybody else in the world. I love people. Have a family that I care about deeply. I have just a natural curiosity for the world out there, and I kind of allow that curiosity to really to uplift that my inner child and to explore new things and to always be willing to try new things. And I think that it just has led me into good places in life, and I would encourage people to do the same.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Exploring the world is very important. I say that to people. We are here temporary. So go out and see something.
Yeah,
Eat some different
exactly.
foods, learn some other cultures, mingle, do
Yeah.
something that would say, hey, we take advantage of this air in the world that we're in. Take
Hmm.
advantage of it because this is what we are in the moment. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
good to just live it, you know. I love that you look at life like that, try to do some new things. Great. Now,
Yeah.
I let me ask you, what is your belief system? Because you know I ask this question because I'm Christian, but not everybody's Christian. And
Hmm.
because sometimes we have challenges and we go through things, but I focus my attention when things are not going right in my life to God. And I
Hmm.
don't know if that is for there's other people that might not be religion or religious, or they might didn't grow up on those norms. And so
Hmm.
to me, if that is the case, and even if it is, sharing information is fine. But here's my thing: what is your belief system? Because you just never know what someone goes through and who do they devote their attention to try to get out of it.
Yeah. So that's a great question, and I think my religious views are not really conventional. And I was raised Christian, and so I have a lot of honor for those traditions and the rituals that are involved with it. And I see the strong utility in having things such as prayer and
Mhm.
meditation and how it uplifts you and really helps you manage your mental health. And having that sense of community is powerful as well. And it really does give you a positive outlook on life. And I don't identify as a Christian, but admittedly, I still sometimes turn to higher power and I try to make sense of this world, which can be challenging and really stretches people thin. And especially with what I see in my career and personal life, sometimes you just need you need to look outward for guidance. And sometimes that's either connecting with people or using meditation to look inward or seeking a higher power. And I think in the end it's just about whatever works for you. And there's a lot of people who adopt different traditions from all different religions, and I kind of do that to a certain degree as well.
Oh yeah. Well, that's interesting. So you're like, is it a not was it a non-denomination? Is that what that is too? Like you
Yeah, I
just open up
suppose. Yeah.
and how you
I wouldn't even
feel?
like, yeah, I don't even know if I would like give it a strong definition really, because it's so personalized and
Yeah.
customized to me, and I don't even know if it would fit into any of these boxes, because I am not usually typically ascribing to any specific like holy text per se, but I do tend to know and actually sometimes base my life on the Bible, interesting enough, and because I see that there's wisdoms in it. Um, and obviously, the ones that are most often discussed is like the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And I think if you can live by
True.
principles that, make these people so prominent in these holy texts, that you can also find some enlightenment in your life as well.
You know what? I agree with you. And I say to people, because, I didn't read the Bible. I mean, I would hear scriptures in the Bible. And then when people, and this is how I was. I mean, I
Hmm.
grew up on Christianity, but you know what? When people would say, hey, read the Bible, I said, well, it's a book. It's been rewritten. How
Yeah,
am I going to know if this was right or not? And this is just my personal opinion. But here you go. When I actually started thinking about it, and I said, well, okay, what's the pros and the cons about this book? It could be a negative or positive. I always hear good things about it. So, what
hmm,
really interests me is actually wanting to read it as a self help book. And
yeah,
before I get into that, because it's just, I have to give a connection. But before I
yeah.
get into that, we are going to take a brief commercial and we will be right back with the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show on the Bold and Brave TV network. Do not go nowhere. We're still with the, oh, very talented Dr. Joshua.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them. Rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies. Find settings that allow them to be the most productive and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Welcome back to the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show on the Bold and Brave TV network, where we're coming live. We are still with the most talented Dr. Joshua. Welcome back. Before we left, I was talking about the connection of the Bible. And you know what's interesting about the Bible? And I'm okay with it because now I actually read the Bible, but I sharing's caring. So me and my children, all three of them, we do every other week and we read the Bible in the chapters. So we're a good amount. I forget where we're actually, maybe Corinthians. I think we're there now. We might be past that. One of them. But anyway, we've been reading it. So here's the thing about it that I've learned, and I have to share this for everyone, because if you ever want to think about reading the Bible and you're like, oh, well, if you had my perception of it, oh, it could be just a book. It's also testimonies and challenges, what people went through, and they shared their testimonies and challenges and what they've been through and how they got out of it, which that's the wonderful thing I love about it, because it correlates to today. Because what there's something that someone did and they're like, you don't want to try this, because let me tell you what happened. There's always a negative, so that's one thing I could say, that the Bible to me is a manual, like your car. You learn how to operate your car, and this is a manual how you do your life. You could be nice to others, like you said, you can be mean to others, but what are you going to get out of that? You want respect, you got to give respect. And that's how I look at that. So I really vibe what you said about that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
thank you for
yeah,
sharing that. Thank you. Well, here's
you're
my
very
other
well.
question. Here's my other question for you. What challenges have you ever experienced that you really did need to call your faith to question? Because we all have those challenges that it's like, oh my goodness, I've had a challenge that brought me to my knees and I didn't know how I was going to get out of it. And I have to say my belief system, me believing in God, and it got me through it. So, have you ever had a challenge in your life that you went through
Oh,
that's something like that?
oh yeah, absolutely. Quite a few, and I think that's why I had accumulated a decent amount of, to at least my understanding, a decent amount of understanding and wisdom surrounding these kinds of things, because I had experienced a lot of adversity even early in life. I had a difficult upbringing, a broken home, in many ways, um, and you know, and even like and they continue to go on, and challenges, difficulties, different kinds of things, in trying to connect with people. And so it's always an ongoing battle, and I think that's the case for everybody. It's like maintaining a car. You're going to have you know things popping up here and there always with your car, and always have to take it into the shop. You don't wait till the entire car breaks down and then try to get it fixed every time, because then the car may not be fixable. So in the end, you kind of just have to do routine, regular maintenance on your mental health and how you're doing. And so, but specifically, examples of adversity in my life. When I was in medical
Mhm.
school, my mother passed away.
Wow.
I had lost mother figures before, due to with my biological mother. She passed away from complications related to cancer in the end. But I also had a time in my early life in high school when I had a stepmother who passed away as a result of her addiction to opioids. Um, and so these are things that were very particular points and challenge in my life. And not to belabor on it too much, but like these are struggles that I had always faced. Um, and there's a bit more to it as well with all this, but in the end, throughout all that process, I sought ways to understand and ways to reconnect. And, honestly, that's when you find your best healing, is when you realize you're struggling and you need to reconnect. And I have found, uh, just as I was saying, as you were saying with the scriptures, looking at other people's testimonies, I think that's a brilliant thing. Whether it's through texts or talking to other people, people have experienced so many things. And so you can learn a lot from people on how to cope and manage and grow. And so I'm always encouraging people, um, whether it's friends, strangers, acquaintances, uh, talk about your problems. It's important to
Yes.
keep talking about it and learn from it and putting it out there. And we need to stop really putting it away and putting a stigma to these kinds of issues, because the the best people you know are struggling, and everybody you know has something they're struggling with. And so it's kind of, a shame that we spend so much time trying to hide those struggles.
That's right. And and that's interesting you say that because, I would not think, what someone goes through and then the challenges because wasn't this like in your early of going to medical school?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I was in my 20s, and
Wow.
and it's always been a struggle. Like, I came from a low income household, and so with that, there's always struggles with that. Both my parents struggled with addiction. Thank goodness my father actually just hit his first year of sobriety at the age of 63.
Oh,
So
wow.
I know.
Congratulations.
So he's
Congratulations.
made good changes in his life. And so it can happen at any time in your life. That's the thing,
Right.
the beauty of it. Every day is a new
That's right.
opportunity, just as you said before. And at the age of 63, he is the happiest he's been ever since he was what, maybe 17. He's drank his entire life, so
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. And you know what? That is an amazing to hear that because addictions are very hard because people have their own definition why they do it. And then they
Hmm.
have to fight. They fight themselves trying to figure out why. Why?
Yeah.
And they have the key and they have the power. And I'm so glad that, your family had your father had found that because that's something that is it's celebration because it really does welcome because we all get upset with things and because you just don't
Hmm.
know we're all addicted to something and
Yeah.
sometimes it's because when you upset about something you go to this way because why it's comfortable
Hmm.
and that's the thing until you stop and realize I don't need that. I'm upset but I'm going to go left instead of right and that's
Hmm.
something. So thank you,
Yeah.
Joshua. Thank you,
Yeah.
Dr. Joshua, for sharing his caring. I always call me, but still. But I want to say that today. So I got to make sure. But thank you for sharing. And on that note, we are going to take a brief commercial. We will be right back with the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show on the Bold and Brave TV network. We're still with the nice and talented Dr. Joshua. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. Come right back.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense Radio Show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them. We discover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
It was an interesting moment for me at the time because I really wasn't seeking someone or anyone, I should say. I just hoped if I did meet someone, that they would be a positive person to meet. Everything he was saying and doing was making me fall in love with him.
Custody. A lot of people quit going, that's just how it got to be. But she keeps on fighting and it takes a lot of guts. No justice, no peace!
You two are like two immature cartoon characters.
Objection. Where's any of this evidence of this?
Order! I'm sanctioning you for $15,000.
I have a right to see my son.
This is all about a child. A poor boy born into a battle. Even with your lies, I gotta survive. Instead, I'm gonna survive. I gotta survive. Even with your lies, I'm gonna survive. Gotta survive. Said I'm gonna survive. This is not justice.
No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace.
No justice.
You're trying to have a judge removed.
I'll sanction her for thousands of dollars for coming to court.
How much money is Mr. K and Mr. G paying you and your fellow judges to keep this woman away from her child?
Said I'm gonna survive, I gotta survive. Even with your lies, I'm gonna survive, gotta survive. Said I'm gonna survive, I gotta survive. Even with your lies, I've gotta survive, gonna survive. Said I'm gonna survive, I'm gonna survive. Even with your lies.
Wow. I want to see that movie. Welcome back to the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show on the Bold and Brave TV network. Oh my goodness. Welcome back. Oh, we have to bring Dr. Joshua back. Come on. Did you see how you looked on that?
I did. I saw it.
Just an angry thing, aren't you?
Yeah.
You know, I have to go into that, but I do want to ask one more question before we really get into it. But I just had to share that trailer of Three Corners of Deception because you did a wonderful job there. And before I go into ask you questions on that, I do want to ask you, what do you suggest? Because all the accolades and all the hats that you wear, what do you do to, like self-care and take care of yourself? Because many people, and I know you're a medical doctor and you're an actor, producer, filmmaker, you do so much. But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
if you don't take care of yourself, you have no self. So what do you do for self-care?
Absolutely. I agree. I think it's important to participate in self-care. And just as we were saying before, it's like car maintenance. You got to maintain it. Even when you're feeling well, you've got to maintain it. When your brakes are working fine, you got to change them out. When your car is driving fine, you got to change the oil. Same thing for mental health, And so, but what I do specifically is I try to find ways to live in the moment. People like me, we tend to live a lot in the future. We think a lot about tomorrow. And I think grounding ourselves and finding ways to be in the present is very helpful. And, strangely enough, I'm a caretaker at heart. So the things that I like to do is that I really enjoy taking care of my dog. I walk him. He helps center me quite a bit. I spend time with friends. I spend time with family. And I think that's what really helps me the most, really. And I try to take time as well to make sure I get the essentials, make sure I'm sleeping well, make sure I'm exercising regularly, making sure that I'm eating well. People try to separate the mental from the physical, but in reality, there's so much that are intertwined between the two.
That's right.
You got to take care of your body to take care of your mind, and and just knowing that you got to find ways to ground yourself and stay in the present, and I also do that by also meditating. I try to meditate regularly as well.
Oh, that is awesome. And I do know you work out because I see your pictures on there on Facebook. You be doing it. I said, look at him posing. He's like, hey, I'm doing this. I was like, okay, there goes Dr. Joshua. He's like, here's my bod, y'all. I'm going to put you on blast on that one.
Right. Well, thanks. I appreciate
I
it.
gotta you showing the world like this is what we
Yeah.
gotta do. Hey, you gotta be a teacher, preacher, teacher
Yeah.
goes with it, leader. So hey, you're telling people this is what you need to do. Take care of yourself. I
Yeah.
get it. And you showed pictures of traveling and enjoyment, things that you like to do, but it's something that we should all take advantage of. Do something, positive. Do something that makes a smile or put a smile on your face. So thank you so much, Dr. Joshua, for sharing and carrying your stories. Now here we go on something. Now I do have to say, you played too well on Three Corners of Deception. Okay. You was just too mean. I just had to call you Angry Melvin. Okay. So, how was that for you? I mean, because, and I will correlate the difference between being a medical doctor and an actor.
Mhm.
But like I said, you wear so many hats. How was that acting in Three Corners of Deception? Was that challenging for you, or can you act? Is that you at all? I mean, this character?
Well, no, I mean, so, each role has challenges. But, and I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I never experience anger and that I never get frustrated. Everybody does. And really, like, what makes the distinguishing feature is what you do with that anger. And so everybody has anger, and I think it's important to acknowledge that. And managing it is simply not just putting it away. And so, but honestly, like, I'm very much kind of a method actor. And so when I do let anger come out or I let sadness come out, it does come from a place of genuineness. Um, and so yeah, like, I mean, there is a part of me that like comes out in my acting, but it's not a person who I want to be, but it's the character I'm playing. Yeah.
You said a good point, not who you want to be. And on that note, we are going to take a brief commercial, and we will be right back with the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show on the Bold and Brave TV network. Don't go nowhere. We're still with the talented Dr. Joshua. Don't go nowhere.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Did you know that your beliefs create your entire reality? But it's the subconscious beliefs that do most of the creating. Belief shifter and life coach Shiraz can help you identify those limiting beliefs and eliminate them, often in a single session.
Like, it was almost instant, like I had relief right away.
Creating better health, relationships, careers, and finances. Let Shiraz help you step out of safety and into awareness.
Definitely something's happening. It's like a flow inside. It feels good.
Whether in person or online, Shiraz provides personal coaching, belief shifting. Visit Shiraz at energeticmagic.com or call 416-529-7429. Energetic Magic on the BBM Global Network, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Find your greater happiness. Be well. Be aware. Be magical.
Welcome back to the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show on the Bold and Brave TV network. Thank you. Welcome back, my friends. We are still with Dr. Joshua. Come on, Dr. Joshua, come on in. Before we left, we were talking about three corners deception and how that felt. And how did it really, as working with me and, me as a director, this was my first directing, opportunity. How did you feel that we worked together? How did that experience feel for you?
I felt like we worked together really well. I mean, we've always got along really well, which was nice. I think that really helped generate chemistry that set up well
Yeah.
for the film. So, but yeah, it always seemed to work out really well.
I have to say that because I like it is chemistry, and if you don't have chemistry, I don't see how we can work together, and you're very directional. So it's like if I said do this, and then sometimes I think you're a little harder on yourself at times, if I remember. Like, I could do that better. Let's do it again. You know what I mean? But then
Yeah. Yeah.
I noticed that you wanted to put your best in it. And
Hmm.
that is what I saw. And then we filmed a lot. And there was times it was real late hours, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, and we were back to back. I mean, it was no give. It was no give. I mean, this movie is an independent movie, but it sure pulled a lot out of us. And I know
Hmm.
it because I just was like everywhere. And it was just, it's just amazing experience. And I'm so glad that you did a great job. Being, we won't give out the goodies, but being the husband, they got to see Three
Yeah.
Corners of Deception. They got to see that movie. So you got to catch him because he really played wonderfully, and I mean your acting was just unbelievable. And the trailer, I don't know if people will like you from the trailer, but you sure you
Right.
doing it on the trailer. Just for that, there is some people that probably want to see that because you're doing
Yeah.
that. They're like, oh wait a minute, that looks good. That looks a little spicy. I want to see that movie.
The drama. Yeah.
The drama. I'm not gonna kid. I gotta have a little drama, you know.
Right.
And I mean, it's sad, It's based on true events, but at the end of the day, you have to put something in the movie, and some things are like, okay, this is what you do for 2.5 hour, 19-minute movie. That's as best as we can get. You don't really want to see all the stuff I've been through. Just a little snippet, and that's all you need. And move
Right.
on. And move on. So, I asked this question. Now, here's this. Not just that you're an actor, producer, and you do film, but you're a medical doctor. What kind of medical
Hmm.
doctor are you again? Because I know you do somewhat surgeries or cardiology or something like that. What?
Well, vascular and interventional radiology, which is very
That.
nuanced. But we're kind of like, if I can give like a 5-minute pitch of it, I would say that like we are minimally invasive surgeons who use imaging guidance from CT scans or X-rays to watch our procedures to guide it so we can do it minimally invasively.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right. No, I think we froze for a little bit. So when I asked that question, I might have missed a little bit of detail. So that's why I look
Oh, okay.
puzzled like, huh?
Okay. Okay.
So if you could repeat just a little, what you said, vascular, right?
Vascular and interventional radiology.
Okay. All right. All
Mhm.
right. And so how is that? I mean, that's different than acting.
It is. It's uh, different in acting in some ways, but there are a lot of similarities in which kind of draw me to both fields, and that is that they're both human centric.
Oh,
Acting is about connecting with people through telling stories, and a lot of medicine is also connecting with people. But obviously, you're trying to heal them. And
yeah.
I do wear kind of a little bit of my actor's hat when I'm with patients, when I'm talking to them, because, it's not always easy, talking to them about some of the things that they are experiencing, but being able to wear my heart on my sleeve and to communicate that and being present in the moment, I think really helps patients connect with me. and trust me.
Mhm.
And so that's a skill that I kind of developed through acting, really. And so there's some similarities, but yeah, there's differences.
What made you want to be a medical doctor?
I didn't really know exactly until about midway through college, really. Like I kind of had a roundabout way of things. I didn't know I was going to go to college back in high school until I got towards the end of high school. Decided I was not going to enter the workforce and go to college, so I didn't really know what I was going to do in college. And then I kind of just did a lot of exploring. You know, I toyed with the idea of being an artist. I toyed with the idea of being a chef, a lawyer. And then, then I found out I loved science and I loved people. And so what helps me connect with science and people and understanding not only what makes life possible, but also what gives that life meaning. Of course, medicine kind of merges those two. And so that's what drew me in.
Oh wow. That's amazing. And I'm glad you shared that because it's so important. People ask me all the time, why do you want to be a psychologist? I like behavior. I like to know what makes you think. Why you do that? Why did you do that? Why did you say that? What made you think like that? I'm
Yeah.
curious. What's that metaphor? Something with a cat, curiosity killed the
Curiosity
cat, but
killed the cat.
satisfaction brought it back. Yeah, so I'm like,
Yeah.
kill the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. So I'm
Mhm.
like that. I want to know it all. I want to know something because I think when we as human beings, it's very intriguing to know why somebody does this or how they feel. And like you
Mhm.
said, by nature, you're a caregiver and you care about
Mhm.
people. And that's one thing that I like that, it's good to know that you didn't just go into that. You went to a journey and then you
Yeah.
decide to go into that, which that is
Yeah.
great. Yeah, so kudos to you. I couldn't do medical school though. I'm not good with math like that. So you must
It
be
was a
excellent.
challenge, but it was good.
You must be excellent in was it organic chemistry?
I was actually. I used
Mm.
to teach organic chemistry to non-chemistry majors, and I did organic chemical research.
Oh my gosh, you're hurting
Yeah.
me already. That's all I gotta tell you. Because I got through the statistical stuff, the stats and all
Hmm.
that for my PhD, but I didn't want to see a means or anything anymore. I didn't want to see none of that statistics, B, 1, 2, 3. I don't care. You can keep it. I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And on, and on that note, we are going to take a brief commercial and we will be back. We will be right back with the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show on the Bold and Brave TV network with Dr. Joshua. Don't go nowhere. Ooh, spirit fingers. You see that movie?
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Welcome back to the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show on the Bold and Brave TV network, where we're coming live. We're still with Dr. Joshua. You know what? I have to say, it was such a pleasant, time to be with you during this segment. Thank you for sharing all the information. And I hope someone will, review this segment and say, hey, he's talking about me, but if he can do it, I can do it. And that's what we're all about. And I'm glad that you have said things that people need not to, keep it behind the closed doors, bring it to light, don't hold it in, because that's something that's going to eat at you. Bring it out.
Yeah.
Just let people know, talk about it, because if you don't, then there's more medical and physical and mentally it's going to hurt you. So, like we said, mental and physical, they work together. So I want to talk. Take care of yourself, people. You heard from the medical doctor and you heard from the psychologist doctor. Take care of yourself, mental and physical. You got to. So with that being said, thank you very much, Dr. Joshua. How do people find you? Because I know you do everything. And if they're looking for you, or even if they want to look at things that you've done, like your movies or, something you're producing or anything, how do we find you?
Yeah, so it is relatively easy. My Instagram is simply Joshua_Scandland. So you can find that pretty easily. There's not very many Joshua Scantlands. You can Google me as well by that same name. Also, you can find me on Facebook under Joshua Scantland as well, and you'll be able to find me on there.
All right. That's great. That's great. As you hear, it said that he is in Three Corners of Deception movie, which is coming this year publicly. So we're looking for him. Yes. Look for him. The Angry Melvin. Mm-hmm.
Angry Melvin.
And he was angry. Not through the whole thing. So I wouldn't say that. He has a soft side too.
Of course.
Well, thank you, Dr. Joshua, for being my guest on today's show, and I really appreciate you. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Absolutely.
All right. As I have to say, coming back to the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show, and when you're looking for me, you can just Google me, the Dr. Meleeka Clary, or you can Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, they're all out there, those social networks. But you could just go to my website, drmeleekaclary.com, and all those links is right there. Or like I said, just Google me. You can find me. I am available for you. So I'm so glad that you tuned in today. I hope you were satisfied with the segment today, because I have to say it's such a great moment and a pleasure that allow an individual to share their stories, because we're doing this for you, but we're also doing it for us. Why? Because we are humans just like you. So I have to say this, and I always want to let this be. I don't know you, but that's okay. I like your mind, that your soul, and you're a person. So if no one said this to you today, I love you, and I want you to be okay. So enjoy your day and have a wonderful weekend to come. And thank you for tuning in to the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show on the Bold and Brave TV network. Thank you, my friends. Take care.
You've been watching the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show. Tune in next week as Dr. Meleeka will help you shift towards a better life. But this show doesn't stop there. She'll provide helpful tips regarding surviving the entertainment industry and the judicial system with practical information. Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern, here on the Bold Brave TV network.